This video is intended to help parents read their child's MAP progress report and to interpret the results. Shortly after AES students have completed testing, MAP student progress reports are emailed to parents. The first page of the score report is a transcript view. A different video explains how to read and interpret that page. The focus of this video is on the second page, which is graphical. The second page is divided into 4 sections: the top left for mathematics, the top right for reading, the bottom left for language usage, and the bottom right for explanatory notes where terms and phrases used in the report are explained. If your child has tested in a domain on more than one occasion, there will be graphs containing 3 different lines. Let's look at the math section. The dark blue line represents the individual student who is the subject of the progress report. The orange line represents the average AES student in the same grade as the student. The light blue line represents the average US student in the same grade as the student. Each line shows the change in RIT score from fall to spring. The dashed blue line represents projected growth over the next year. In this example, the students' scores in both fall and spring, represented by the dark blue line, were above the AES average, which is represented by the orange line, and the US average, which is represented by the light blue line. We can see by the slope of the dark blue line that the students' growth exceeded the average growth for that grade in the US and at AES. The reading graph tells a different story. Here we can see that in the fall, the student's RIT score was between the US and AES average. In other words, the student was above average compared to the US, but below average compared to AES peers. In the spring, the student's RIT score declined, placing the student below the US average as well as the AES average. It is unlikely, of course, that the student actually regressed in reading. Factors that might affect performance include the student not feeling well or a lack of engagement on that particular day. We don't want to dismiss test results simply because they don't meet our hopes or expectations, but we do need to remember that these lines so far represent just one pair of data points. As students continue at AES, we will have an increasing number of data points which will give a better and better picture of their achievement, learning, and progress. Finally, looking at language usage, we see that this student began and ended below the US and AES averages, but closed the gap a bit by achieving more than the typical US growth and more than the AES average growth. If after reviewing your child's MAP progress report and reading the explanatory notes on the first and second pages you still have questions, please contact your child's counselor.